Hello students and welcome to another video of IELTS with Coach Brad. I am of course Coach Brad, and today I am going to give you some tips on how to improve your score in the IELTS reading test. If you are not sure, the IELTS reading test is 1 hour, there are 40 questions, and you need to read 3 texts. Each text is about 900 words long. If you are new to my channel, then like, share and subscribe. I have many IELTS materials that you may find useful, and there is another video similar to this which gives 5 important tips for beginners for the IELTS listening test. So, let's begin! Okay, I must be honest. Practicing for the reading test is very boring. Much more boring than practicing speaking, listening or writing. There is not much I can do about that. I have made some tests which I hope are a little bit more interesting, so you can use those to practice. They are very similar to the real IELTS tests. If you can get your hands on those, they are also a good option to practice. You also want to practice all the different question types. Some you may find easier or faster than others, and you don't want any surprises or you're not sure about how to do that type of question when it comes to doing the test on the day. And besides, just spending 20 minutes once or twice a week while you are preparing for your IELTS test is not going to hurt you. Sure, it's boring, but you can do something fun after you have practiced the reading test. Many people think the biggest challenge with the reading test is the vocabulary. That is not true. It is the short amount of time that you have to complete the test. Only 60 minutes to do 40 questions. That means 90 seconds per question. Some of the questions are going to be so difficult for you, you have a very small chance of getting it correct. This can be a trap. If you spend 5 minutes looking for one answer that you probably can't get, that means you are losing time for easier questions later in the test that you probably will get. So sometimes you just need to accept you don't know the answer, maybe you can guess, or maybe you have spare time at the end of the test. But do not make the mistake of spending too long on the difficult question and missing the easier questions. A good way to do this is to practice with a watch at home. Another reason why you should practice. Some skills that you will want to develop is your skimming and scanning skills. Scanning is the best for words which have no synonyms. For example, if your question has a name or a date or a place, there are no synonyms for those words. You can just find the answer you need very quickly. You do not need to read the whole text just to find that information. You don't have enough time for that. Skimming is better when you're looking for keywords and synonyms in particular. I have used the example produce, maybe is in the question, manufacture might be in the text. That way you can go through it very quickly and maybe move past areas which you are sure the answer is not part of. There will also be times where you need to read it a little bit more closely. Again, a little bit of practice and you will be able to decide which of these options, skimming, scanning or reading, will help you answer that question quickly and correctly. Much like the listening test, there is an opportunity for you to make very silly mistakes in the reading test. For example, the word may be spelled correctly in the text, but if you don't spell it correctly in your answers, you make a very easy mistake after you already found the correct answer. Also, make sure you read the instructions. This might tell you how many times you can use an answer, or it might tell me how many words you need to use. For example, no more than 2 words or no more than 1 word per answer. It will also probably help you to highlight parts of the text which you think might be an answer or might be important, even for another question. And my last tip, make sure you read the questions in advance. This is important because a lot of the time the answers and questions are in the same order. For example, question number 1 will be at the start of the text and the last question might be at the end of the text. So if you read the questions first, you can look for 2 or 3 answers at the same time. And if you find the answer for maybe question 2, but you didn't find the answer for number 1, then you know that you need to go back up to find it. Sometimes you will need to guess the vocabulary in the reading test. Some of the vocabulary is very difficult that even I don't know what all of it means. So just have a guess. Maybe you will be right, maybe you will be wrong, but you need to try. So that is the end of today's video. If you have any questions, then leave them in the comments section. But just remember, practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next time.